Hello, everybody. My name is Tiina Mäkelä, and I'm here with my colleagues, Kati.
Hi, I'm Kati Clements.
And Saana.
Hello.
Nice to be here with everybody. We're going to talk about the opportunities and challenges for online education, particularly related to the COVID-19 crisis. We come from the University of Jyväskylä, Finland.
This research has been done with the help of Learning Technology Accelerator project. And this is a Horizon 2020 funded project, which has been ongoing for last 2.5 years, supporting schools and municipalities in their procurement of educational technology. The idea of this research is to understand which needs the teachers and students now have for buying learning technologies, specifically as their needs have changed in the COVID-19 crisis, and to give some sort of ideas for initiating common demand calls for learning technologies.
Okay, and so now this study in particular that we're going to present, this was about identifying different opportunities and challenges for online education. And we were interested in online education in general, in any situation. And then we were looking for different aspects that could be considered when creating strategies for a crisis situation similar to the one we are living at the moment. And the purpose of this study was also to create a good foundation for the future research on this area. And as a method, we used just a traditional narrative literature review. We were going through different databases, and we focused on studies in recent 20 years, with more interest in the most recent studies, even published in this year. And we were searching publications using different keywords related to online education. And we were trying to identify papers that talk about positive and negative sides of online learning. At this point, we were interested in all different educational levels and different perspectives from teachers, learners, and parents as well. And as a result of this research, we identified 20 publications.
Yes, and here are some of the results. So the opportunities that we have identified. So the first one is flexibility. So basically, the teaching and learning schedules can be more flexible and also on a daily basis, as well as in the long term. And there can also be more flexibility in geography. And the second opportunity is individualization or personalization. So it is easier to take into account the learner's personal qualities, such as pace or specific needs in teaching. And the parents can also better support their children's unique needs. And the third opportunity is high quality instruction. So some studies have noted that the efficiency can be the same as in a classroom situation, and the educators can motivate and, for example, provide instruction for the learners, and the parents can also support their children to better reach their potential. And a fourth opportunity is improved learning outcomes and skills. So if the learners are autonomous, self-directed, and motivated, their online education may even improve their outcomes and skills. And fifth opportunity we identified is benefits of using ICT. So the use of remote learning tools can expand educational access and also provide an access to a wide variety of learning materials, resources, and tools. And a sixth opportunity is online collaboration and social networking with peers. So it is easy to foster online collaboration and networks. Also, the educators can facilitate interactions in a group and provide possibilities for online interaction and participation, as well as to provide support networks between tech-savvy teachers and their peers.
It has also been noted that there can be positive effects in relating to the activities, as there can be physical exercise, sleep, and breaks. Also, there can be support from parents, psychologists, or social workers, which can support matters related to health and well-being of the students. It has also been noticed that, of course, that there can be a bigger administrative efficiency, because many of the courses can be scaled up to reach more students, of course. And once you have done one course online, then you can use the same materials, you can use the same aids, possibly. So it can be more economical than traditional education. So overall, an important point is that online learning can ensure that we can give education even in this kind of exceptional circumstances, like in the COVID-19 crisis, where if there was no online learning, basically the kids would have been home for 2 or 3 months without getting any education. So it's very, very important way to ensure that education can be provided despite of the physical distance between people. Also, when there is something good, there is also some sort of challenges in any kind of phenomenon. And also, of course, during the COVID-19 crisis, there was a lot of situations where there was some sort of trouble trying to use maybe the traditional teaching methods that do not work online. There was teachers who were fearing that they are going to lose the control over their teaching. And of course, the changing role of teachers and parents when the teacher is no longer physically present, making sure that the pupils learn, then the parents had to kind of step in and be the guardians of the learning, and this can be challenging. And of course, if you are a teacher with some kids at home, you are trying to do two roles at the same time, which can be very, very challenging. So one of the biggest issues was that there is some sort of time management challenge, specifically with younger learners. They might not have such good skills in self-directedness and self-discipline.
Okay. Then similar challenges we identified based on this literature, and we think can be applied to this situation. To start with, one is the negative attitudes towards technology. We have had it always that there are educators that do not want to change, but of course in this crisis situation there was no choice. So in a way, everybody had to jump into this boat. But still, negative attitudes are an issue. And then lack of ICT competency and support is also evident in normal situation, and even more in this situation, that there are no people are not trained. There isn't necessarily organizational technical support or strategy for this situation. And then lack of experience in general obstructs learning. And it's not only the teachers that lack experience. We've identified during this situation that many students alike, they are not used to online learning, so they don't really know what to do, even if they know something about the technology, but it's not obvious that they know to use it for their studies. And then there's the problems with the ICT infrastructure. Even in a countries like Finland, we noticed that when people are using internet and online tools a lot, there are problems with the internet, and technology doesn't always work the way it should, or there aren't enough tools available, and schools may not be ready for these kind of arrangements. This has really happened also during the COVID-19 crisis. And then the final challenges we identified based on literature. We discussed that there are many possibilities for online collaboration, but on the other hand, of course, individuals, they lack physical contact, and so this might lead to the feelings of isolation. And on the other hand, teachers don't have the personal relationship with the students in many cases. They don't have the time for that, and so that's why there are little less contacts with the adults. Even though the good side of this COVID-19 crisis is that teachers knew their students normally in advance, so they had a little bit better relationship with their students. Then Kati was mentioning the positive side of the physical and mental health. So it's possible to organize and support learners in this situation, but on the other hand, we identified especially one publication published in China related to COVID-19 situation. It stated, mentioned these difficulties in maintaining a daily lifestyle and daily rhythm. And then as a final negative side, the increased workload and need for additional resources. Kati mentions again that this can lead to savings, but study shows that when you start with online education preparation, it requires at least triple time in doing the preparation, and this work is not compensated well enough. And even some students have been reporting that they've been working more than usual. And in the beginning, you really need an investment for this to make everything work. After that, it might be economical and efficient, but of course the work needs to be done in the beginning. Okay, so these were the challenges, opportunities and challenges we identified. And we think that this preliminary literature review serves as a basis for empirical studies. We're actually already collecting data. We've been collecting it during this school closure, and now, well, in Finland, the schools are over already, but we are collecting it after the situation. So we're interested in seeing what are there similarities or can we identify the same issues in COVID-19 situation has been reported in earlier papers. We think that we also need to study differences between different educational levels and also consider better different viewpoints, let's say the parent's perspective or educator's perspective or learner perspective. And for sure, from not so research perspective, but from more practical perspective, we need to find ways to support the educational organizations that they can really find ways to convert these opportunities into benefits and overcome different challenges. And there's definitely need for creating good strategies for the online education in a more or less normal situation, and then for situations such as COVID-19, when there's a crisis and online learning is obligatory, let's say. Okay, so this was our study on the benefits and challenges in online learning. And you're gonna have our contact details if you wanna be in touch over here. Thank you very much.
Yes, and also we have a Facebook group that is supporting teachers called Organizing Teaching During the COVID-19 Crisis. And you can always also join the LIA network on Learning Tech Accelerator.eu website.
So hope to see you in Finland a little bit later on when traveling is nice again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.